Hello, another layout update. As you can see, I now have backboards along the sides and the back of the layout. These are made out of sheets of MDF with some softwood on the edges and behind them to hold them in place. These all lift out so that a back seam can be attached to them later. The sides are in one long piece and the back is made out of two. There's one there and the other one is along there. The small bits of wood that stick out from the top in the corners are there so that the two pieces can be screwed together and accessed after they're assembled. The lift up section that runs across the front here has now been fitted with two hinges. These are cabinet hinges taken from an old kitchen unit that was no longer being used. This allows the bridge to be lifted up a lot quicker than it was before. I'll just lift this up. And it will actually stay pointing upwards like this, so you can walk through it quite easily. It leans back just slightly so that it doesn't fall forwards. The hinges help to move the track away when it lifts up. That's why the small block of wood is on the inner one on the right here. As the bridge lifts up, the track moves backwards slightly and then up, so it doesn't actually attach to it or scrape on the track. On the far side here, there is a small piece of wood on the edge, just here, that is used to force the alignment correctly for the track. I can adjust this as required. This keeps the track lined up when the bridge comes down. As you can see here, this one is pretty much perfect. If we take a look under the bridge, you'll see there are two small wires here and a small strip of wire here. What this does is that when the bridge is down, it joins the circuit. This is connected to the BM3 module by Lens, which is part of the Lens automatic braking control. As you can see here, there's a signal just before the bridge. When the circuit is interrupted, the signal goes to red. In addition, it also sends a signal to the decoder chip and tells the train to stop here. This is just an extra safety feature so that should the bridge be left open and the train is running, it will stop here and not go off the edge. This wire will be replaced with a micro switch later. In addition to the work on the bridge, I've also extended the benchwork out by about 1 inch to 1.5 inches on this side here. You can see where the original benchwork finished and the extension has been added. The benchwork extension has been done at an angle, gradually getting wider as it goes along here. This allows the door to open and enough space to put a signal in this end, as well as enough clearance for the train. The height of the wall, or the edge here, is designed so that if a train should derail, such as this one, it will not go over the edge. As you can see here, it lands on its side, but still upright enough to prevent it from tipping over. Obviously a derailment here may still cause a scratch or something on the side of the train, but it's still better than it going over the edge and dropping right down to the floor, which is quite a way down below. Eventually I will use these panels around all edges of the layout just to finish off the bench area, make it look a bit better, even if there's no actual track work on the edge. As you can also see, the track is now sitting on foam. In this area the track has been glued down, both inner and outer lines, all the way around along here, including the point work to the far corner. It stops approximately where the bridge is, where it then becomes loose. Over here, the track is still glued down, but the station area is not. The first two here are glued down to here, across here. This is also station area. And then here the inner track stops. The outer track continues round along here. Again, the track foam is all done for both rails along here, under the bridge. The foam is also secured and glued down all around here. The track is not glued at this point, this is all loose track. And then here, back up to the bridge. The bridge has been glued. All of the bridge here has been glued down. As you can see, there is also some ballast that's been laid here. This has just been done as the track was glued down, using the excess glue along the foam, with the ballast just sprinkled over the top. As you can see, there are some gaps, like here. Another piece there. But from a distance it still looks pretty good. This will be completed properly later with some more ballast. But it gets the base layer down very quickly and easily at the same time as laying the track. As you can see, there is no ballast on the sleepers anywhere along here because the glue is only on the foam. So there's no risk of getting any ballast on the sleepers or on the rails. You don't have to worry about cleaning it off afterwards. I will have to come back later and fill in the little gaps, then finish it off, and of course do the other rail, the other track, and the area in between the tracks. As you can see, there was one signal over here before the bridge. There's also another one over here, and there is a sort of temporary signal that's similar over here, although it's falling off at the moment. In addition to the temporary signals, the block work has been done for the entire outer track. There are cuts in the rails at various places, and the whole run of track is split into blocks. This allows for the lens ABC, or the block signalling, to work correctly and to actually check the trains, change signals and stop trains at signals. For more information on the lens ABC and the block signalling that I've done, please see the other video that I did earlier. As well as the block signalling, this also means that all of the dropper wires are complete for both the inner and outer track. Moving over to this corner, you can see that work has now been started on the station area. Some of the track foam has already been glued down. There is a point just behind that carriage there, with a small gap in the foam that needs to be filled later. As you can see, the track comes around here. That foam riser will need to be cut slightly to let the track through. The track then comes along here and it splits into two to provide two long runs down here. This foam is all stuck down. It comes down to about here. There'll be a platform that goes across, blocking these two tracks here to make bay or end type platforms. The track you can see laying on the board with no foam about there. This is another line that I'm trying to squeeze further back here. It'll go under the bridge here, and then somewhere round here, and then join back on again at the points there. The idea with this is to provide a sort of a freight bypass track, so that goods trains can basically go along the back and skip out the station. There will be a platform on one edge of it, and the idea of that, it will be used for the post train. As you can see, I have a few of the post carriages dotted around the layout at the moment. There's another one over here, the box. This middle board here is removable, so that the layout can dismantle completely into different sections. One of the problems with this section here was that it wasn't 100% level. As part of the station work, I've also corrected the alignment of this board here, where it joins to the main board, as there was an ever so slight step in the track. This is now almost completely gone, and the same with the other side over here. This is now almost completely level, and it's level enough so that a train won't derail or have a noticeable problem. I'm also working out the correct height for these stone wall sections here. If I lower this down, you might be able to see the correct height now. The track at the back is suspended on some track bed, and the carriage is on the track. The idea is that from the other side, the decorated part of the wall, if we turn this round, it has on the back some brick pattern, and that lines up with the ground level for the upper part. To get the correct height, I'm using some old packing foam here with a small section of the track bed, just to raise it up a little bit more. This will be cut back to be a much thinner strip, probably about maybe an inch wide or an inch and a half wide, and we'll curve all around here up to the bridge area. The idea is that from this part here, all the way along the edge of the foam riser, all the way along here, down here, and right up to somewhere around here will be the stone retaining wall. Then there'll be some kind of tunnel entrance over here, and this section will be hidden in the far corner. The idea is that some of these tracks will look like they're not going around a corner, or hopefully anyway. They'll then come out of the tunnel somewhere in this area, ideally to expose these points in case of any problems. So somewhere around where that buffet car is. As you can see here, some of the foam roadbed or track bed has been laid over the incline. Comes down here, joined to the other track. There's a point there as well, and then it stops just here. The reason it stops there, as you can see, I run out of bench work. What we'll have to do here is extend the bench work ever so slightly to the track. I don't know if you can see the pencil drawings there where the track comes back on again. And it will then curve and go along over here somewhere. One of the problems I've got right now is trying to work out where in this area to bring the track across. I don't want it too close to the station, because having it too close to the platforms, it's going to look a bit strange. Why is there a track next to the platforms when it's not part of the station and it's a completely different part of the layout? So I want to try and bring it as far forward as I can. So maybe something like over here. So not too close to the edge, but far enough from the station area so it doesn't look strange. Part of the reason why this board hasn't been done over here is because I'm working out how far out I need to make the bench work for the track to fit where I want. As you can see, the beams are already in place to support the bench work. I just need to decide how much of a piece to cut here. The track will come past here, and then it will go into this hill area over here. Now this bit is still being decided upon. As you can see, the bridge comes across over the top and then kind of just stops over here. The idea is that it will go across here somewhere and along towards the edge. At this point over here, the bridge line will keep going and it will leave this bench work and go off over there somewhere. But that's for later, a much later idea. In this area here, I'm intending to put some industry. I have a model sawmill that needs constructing and putting over here somewhere, with a small rail yard for the sawmill. I also have some parts of a coal mine, which I may be able to squeeze in here as well, depending on the size. I want to be able to get the track work so that a train can come in, drop off cars and pick up new ones, and that's not a lot of space in here. This will all be raised up to the bridge height. You may notice there is a circle of track on the riser here going round, which drops down to a lower level. This is currently an idea to attempt to make another access up to the bridge on this side. One thought I had is that over here I could add a point on the outer track. It will then go across for a diamond crossing here, around here, through a new tunnel, go inside the hill area here, and then basically spiral around, coming up possibly there, make sort of a tunnel entrance there, then it'd be on the outside so you could see it around here, and then it comes up to the top. Then in this area the line could join back up to the bridge, but also with a connection off to the industry. The problem I can see here though is that that curve is a bit tight to be able to get a curve and the point work in there. This may not work, and it may have to be moved further over. This is still just being tested out and experimented with right now. The idea as well is that this line in this area may have a point coming off and going around here, and that will then connect up to the one that comes across past the station. There are some problems with this design at the moment, in that it does cause a reverse loop, which, as many of you will know, can cause some interesting electrical problems and wiring problems and short circuits. So I may have to purchase a reverse loop module for this area, depending on what I do with the track. Also, as you may have noticed from the edges of the video, there is a large pile of wood over here, all brand new wood. It goes quite high up, very high up in fact. And the idea is that an extension may occur going off of the side here. As you watch the video, this will be to the left and go out across here. For that reason, that's why this track over here hasn't been glued down. It's just sitting on top of the foam. So if I want to put in a point or anything along here, I can do and just add some more foam in. The current idea is that the bridge line will come across here, jump over those two tracks and keep going off into the extension. There may also be a turn off on that far corner there. I'll cover more plans on the extension when I actually get to some sort of plan for it, as right now there's nothing more than a general rough idea of going beyond the board. You may notice this rockery type thing going on over here. This is actually a piece of the test layout. Originally it was made out of paper, as you can see here, brown packing paper, which was held down by masking tape, and then plaster cloth was put over the top of it to keep the shape, and then painted. What happened was that the test layout, while being stored up here, got quite warm, and the masking tape came unstuck. So as it happens, the entire mountain range piece here just fell off the test layout, which is on its side, and it's in perfect condition but is separated from the board. So as the test layout is not particularly important anymore or needed, I decided I might as well actually reuse it, and it just happens to fit to the same radius, so I just put it on here temporarily just to see what happens, and it adds a bit of temporary scenery to the otherwise completely barren layout. I can easily reuse this just by adding some more plaster cloth onto the edges here and even finishing off the other side, which wasn't even finished yet. As you can see, it's pretty solid, even though it's actually come away from the baseboard. It's very, very solid. Just going back to the station idea over here, if you look in this corner, you'll see that the foam riser is actually just a little bit in the way by a couple of inches, which means it's going to have to be cut. There will be a piece of wood that goes over here to bridge the gap between the two. But one thing I'm looking at is this line that goes along the back here. You can just see the foam stop there with a piece of track on top of it. I'm currently wondering if I should still go ahead with this line down the back here as the freight bypass. I do really want a freight bypass because it will provide a way for the larger freight trains to go through, and a way for me to park additional trains and other things and let them pass each other. Because one can be in this in the front track here where the CMX is, and then one could go along the back and they could pass, or I could just leave one parked in the station. The only problem I see with it here is that in this corner the track has to sort of do a bit of an S-curve to get through. That curve there isn't completely correct where it would be about halfway through. So if we just put that there. So if you imagine where the pencil is, to the right would be a section of straight track. It wouldn't keep curving round. And the curve would go round here with a slight S and go through the bridge. I am contemplating putting a freeway point in here to allow two tracks off into the engine shed, and then one would go round and rejoin the track there, where that point is at the back. If anybody has any suggestions or opinions on that idea, I would greatly appreciate it, because I'm currently not sure if that's a good idea or not. Also, if anybody has any ideas regarding the front track here and keeping it separate and looking realistic from the station, that would also be a great help. I would like to be able to have the bridge line active independently of the outer two running rails to make it sort of a third loop, if you like. At the moment, the other end of the bridge line, so it goes round the outside here and on the back, jumps over in this corner. That bridge is actually in the wrong place. Runs down this foam here, comes around the inner curve. As you can see, the plaster's done here and the track foam's done. Then it gets to here. So there's a branch off from the inner track that comes round. They merge here and come along here. The original idea was that this area here, that's currently a bit of a workbench, is going to be the TMD. So you'd have the station running here, be some sort of separation because you'd have to have a platform. So if I put that just there for the minute, so you'd have a platform ending something like this, and then in this area, like where the carriages are, there'd be some sort of TMD, possibly going around to here. The other point though is that the station needs to have a station building, a car park and a road, and even needs to be a town somewhere. The original idea was that the town would be somewhere over at the back there, possibly with a road coming along here, maybe with a slope down to the station area, and either putting the building along the front here, or perhaps down here. The reason I'm thinking in this area is because the two inner platforms will terminate over there, and if I have a footbridge going roughly near where the CMX cleaner is, that would make sense to have the station building about here. One thing I don't want to do is have the station building all the way down this end, because then it'd be rather unfair to the passengers who need to get to the tracks. They'd have to walk down the entire length of the platform, all the way down here, just to get to the other side. That's about it for this update. Thanks for watching. If you have any ideas or suggestions, please do leave them in the comments below, especially regarding the track at the back there, sort of between the station and the back, and also the front line here that sort of connects onto the bridge, and also this TMD area. Be grateful for any comments in that. Please feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and another update once I actually get something else done with it. Thanks for watching. Bye.